Hey, how's it going? Alex here from IdeaSpot. In today's tutorial, we're going to build this tech website using WordPress and Elementor. I'll show you step by step exactly how I built this exact website. And the method I'm about to show you can be used to build any of Elementor's kit websites. This is a really easy way of getting started with WordPress. If you want to build a business website, a blog, a portfolio site, a photography site, an e-commerce website, we've got you covered with Elementor's kit websites. Now, this is a fairly long video. I've got lots of details in the timeline there, broken into chapters if you're interested in a certain step. But basically, we're going to go through purchasing Elementor, setting up this site kit, building pages, building posts in WordPress, building contact forms, and I'll even show you how to set up a free business email using your own custom domain. So if all this sounds interesting, then keep watching. All right, I've got a link in the description that'll bring you here where we can choose our plan. For this demo, all I need is one website. So I'm going to go with the basic plan here. Let's go with that one. And now we can create an account using Google, Facebook, or an email address. I'm going to sign in with my Google account here. Once we've done that, we can just fill this form out with our details. That's all fairly straightforward. Choose a payment method and just go through that checkout flow. I'll meet you at the next step after we've done that. And after doing that, we are greeted with the option of adding Elementor Ai. So that is an extra $2.99 a month. It does give you the ability to add content really quickly using an AI generator. So add that if you're interested, but otherwise just head to start creating down here. We can add a name for our site. I'm going to go with IdeaSpot. This is really easy to change later if you like as well. So let's head down and click next. And now we have the choice of adding a site kit. So lots of site kits to choose from, but I actually like to start fresh from a blank site. So that makes it easier to roll back to the blank site in the future. If I want to try multiple kits, it's good to start blank. So now we can start editing our homepage here. And from there, we can see our blank site. Not too interesting. If we head up to the top left corner, we can get to our Elementor overview in the dashboard. So let's head up there and click Manage this site. This brings us over to our site overview. So from here, you can access a lot of features. At the moment, we'll see our site is on a temporary Elementor cloud domain. You can add your own custom domain through here. I'll show you how to do that a bit later. Also, you'll notice that site lock is on. So your site won't be displayed until we turn the site lock off. When you finish building your site, you make it public by turning that off. We'll do that later on. You can also access your email and we can do backups here. It's probably a good time to do a backup. I like to make a backup before I start building because then I can just roll back and start fresh. If I decide I want to change things completely, it makes it quite easy. So I'm going to go over here and create a new backup. We just give our backup a name. I'm going to call this one blank site. Click backup now. And this will take a few seconds, so just wait for the backup. And that is now complete. We can see our blank site backup here. We can restore back to the blank site at any point in the future if we wish. You'll also notice that they automatically perform backups every 24 hours and save them for 14 days. So you can restore up to any point in the past. As you're working on your site, you can go back through these automatic backups as well as doing them manually like we just did here. All right, let's head back to our overview. And we can get to our WordPress dashboard through these three dots here, and we can go to WordPress admin. This is going to bring us to our WordPress dashboard. This is where we do most of our work in WordPress, like adding new posts and editing pages. First thing we'll want to do is choose a template site kit. So let's head over to templates here and we can find the kit library right there. As we can see, Elementor has a lot of very nice modern style templates suitable for blogs, magazines, simple business websites, portfolio websites. There's these blank ones called wireframes if you want to do a completely custom design here. And there are some online stores as well that use WooCommerce. So lots of options here. Let's go ahead and sort this by new and see what is new here. Let's imagine I was making a website for my own brand, IdeaSpot. So scrolling down, we can see one called Digital Marketing Agency, which would be pretty suitable, I think. So let's go ahead and click that one. So this allows us to preview the site before we import it. And looking through here, I'm pretty happy with this design. So I'm going to apply this one, but if you wanted to choose a different one, you can go back to your library and keep browsing. But let's go ahead and apply this one to our website. And I'm going to apply all here. This will take a few moments. First, we have to enable unfiltered upload. So click that one there and we are setting up. So I'll come back in a second when this one is ready. So this took about a minute. The kit is now live on our site. We can go ahead and close this one here. We're back to our WordPress dashboard. We can start editing our kit now. So let's just open our page. We can visit our site here. I'll open that in a fresh tab. We can see this particular kit has come with 6 menu items here. One of them is in a sub menu there, the social media page, and we've got a contact page here with a contact form there. And this one, the news flash page, is actually a post page. So all of these articles are WordPress posts. I'll show you how to create and edit WordPress posts a bit later, but let's start with editing our logo and our menu to start with here. So let's go ahead and edit with Elementor on our home page here. So let's start with our logo. So let's hover here. We can see we've got the header. That'll allow us to access the items in the header. So let's look at the logo there. Let's click that pencil. Now we can change our site logo. So we just click this one here. So here we can change our site logo. You'll notice the suggested image dimensions, 350 by 100. So stick to those suggested dimensions if possible here. And we can choose an image out of our library, or we can upload something. So I'm going to upload a logo I prepared earlier here. So I'm going to upload this one and go ahead. There's our logo. Select that one. If you're curious on how I made this logo, I made it over at canva.com. That's a free image editor where I just created a logo to a custom size to match the suggested dimensions there. So that's all I did there. And while we're here, it's worth adding a favicon. A favicon is the little logo that goes in your browser tab. So let's go ahead and add one of these. I prepared one of these earlier that I can upload as well. So there's my favicon. Go ahead and select that one. If you're curious about how you can get free favicon, I made one for free on favicon.io. There's probably others that will do the same job, but for this demonstration, just keep it fairly simple. Go ahead and click Save Changes. There's actually one more thing I'd rather do here is the site description where it says just another Elementor hosted website. Let's just change that to tech tutorials. For example, there, I'm going to save that again. And you'll notice it says changes will be reflected only after saving and reloading the preview. So we can reload the preview window here with our browser. Now, after reloading, I noticed this kit has an effect where the logo is dark and when you hover on it, it becomes light. So I kind of wanted to edit that effect as well. So let's close out of this site settings here. I'll show you how to change this. I don't think all templates will have that effect on the logo, but if you run into this issue, I'll show you how to fix that. So head to header again here. And then we head to the pencil icon near the logo there. And under style, the style tab here will have the CSS filters. We can actually just roll that back to default. That'll change it. And then if we hover, it still has that light effect. If you like it, you can keep it. But if you go over to the hover tab there, you can re-roll that back to default. I actually kind of like that light effect. You can actually edit it. I think it's achieved by adding 200% brightness. So if you wanted to make it more subtle, for example, you could drag it back and it only adds a little bit of brightness when you hover on it. So that's kind of interesting. The other thing worth doing while we're here is make this a bit bigger, I think. So we can just change the height there. Let's just bump that up to say 50. It looks a lot better. Let's go ahead and publish. Next thing we can look at while we're here is our menu. So let's go ahead and click that pencil icon here. So this is where we can change the visual style of the menu. So the size of the text, the animation effect as we hover on it, those kind of things can be changed here. And the actual content of the menu is in our menu screen. So if we wanted to tweak anything here, say the slide effect of the underline, we could change it to like a grow effect instead, for example. But that's how you change the style of your menu visually. But to change the actual content, we go to our menu screen. So I might just publish this while I'm here. And then head to the menu screen. And this is where we actually access the structure of the menu. First thing you notice is that social media is a sub-item under services. So I'll show you what I mean here. So we can see services and you've got a sub-item there. So we could actually make it a proper item there by just moving it back into the line with the other ones and saving it. And then we can actually reload our page and you'll see that we've got an extra social media item in our menu there. So that's how you change the structure there. So if we wanted to say make it a bit more simplified, we could make the services under the about and the social media, both sub items there, and save it again. And then the effect that we've got there is that about now has 2 sub items. So that's how you manage that. And any of the pages that you create in your WordPress pages can be added there. You can select the ones you want added to your menu. If you want to remove one from the menu, for example, we can go ahead and select it and we can actually remove that page from the menu as well. So free to customize that exactly how you want. And besides adding pages to your menu, you can also add posts from the post section of your WordPress site. You can make custom links, totally your own text and your own link on there in your menu as well. You can link to post categories as well. So this page uses a category called Newsflash for the Newsflash page where the posts are. I'll show you how to manage that a bit later when we talk about WordPress posts, but really that's all there is to it in terms of managing your menu. Next thing we should cover is our colors and fonts. So let's head back to Elementor here. And this little button is your site settings up in the top left there. That'll give you access to global colors and global fonts. So global colors, let's select that one there. So we can go ahead and tweak these to match our branding. For example, if we wanted to change our pale blue, we could go ahead and select that one there. And you can go ahead and just tweak it as you like. This is particularly useful if your site has an exact color that you use for your own branding and you want to keep it consistent. And any changes we make in here are reflected across the entire site. So let's change our primary font, for example, as well. So we can go ahead, select that one here. At the moment, we've got DM Sans. So if we were to change that to something else, let's go ahead and change it to DM Serif Display, save changes. To show you the effect that has, we head back to our page tab and reload it. We can actually see any of the headings that were using that style across the whole site have automatically changed. So that's quite a powerful way of editing the fonts right across the site in a global way. So I might just go ahead and change that back because I quite liked how it looked in the first place there. So I might save that on. And that's all there is to that. So you can customize your fonts right across the whole site. So we can see the hero headline is probably the font in the hero heading there. So go ahead and just adjust things as you wish here. So now that we're done here, we can close out of this one. This takes us to our Elementor editor where we can edit our page. At the moment, we're working on our home page. You can access any of the pages through your WordPress dashboard here. And say if we wanted to edit the about page, we can edit with Elementor like that. So this process can be used for any of your pages. Right now, let's work on our home page. Editing text is really quite simple. All you have to do is click on it. That'll bring up our text editor. You could edit it on screen like that if you like, or you've got a little text box there you can edit in as well. So that's all quite easy. They are all made of these elements. The basic ones are the ones you'll use the most: headings, images, and text editors and buttons, probably the most common ones that we'll focus on today. And it's just a case of dragging and dropping these wherever you want them on the page. So if we wanted some text under this heading there, we could just drag some under there, and that gives us a text box editor under our heading. So very simple to do. At the moment, it just gives you filler text, but we can actually write something using an AI or doing it manually, obviously, but we can use an AI. We have to just click the approval there, and it can actually generate text for our page. So we could give it a prompt. So let's say 25-word intro to IdeaSpot tech tutorials and generate. And that looks pretty cool. We can actually just use that. So that's a quick way of generating some content to get you started. And you'll notice that the basic plan that I'm on comes with just a limited license. You can actually upgrade to get much more AI generation capabilities as well if you're interested. Now, the thing you probably want to do when working with these site kits is change these stock images over to your own custom images. So by default, we've got this one here. We can just choose that out of our library. It's got some stock images in the kit library, but we'll probably want to upload some of our own images and work with those. So I can just upload my own stock images from my drive here. Go ahead and do that. For example, I've got a few images I've just uploaded. So I've just uploaded these images here. Let's go with, say, that one and select it. And that changes our image. If you're curious about where to find some good quality stock images, I like to get them from pexels.com. You can use these freely, even on your own commercial projects. So I really quite like pexels.com. I just searched for tech and horizontal size pictures, and that was how I did that one. And I actually prefer to have this text down here. So you can drag and drop things. So if you grab the element, you can actually drag it. I might put it down here and have it down there. And I could just delete this one. So you could delete a section by right-clicking it and deleting it. And that looks a lot better. And scrolling down, it's just a matter of repeating that process here. So changing our stock images and changing our text. But sometimes you'll run across an image where when you click it, it doesn't actually give you the ability to change it straight away. So you'll need to find out where this image is. It's usually set as a background, either in the container background or the column background. So we can check the container by clicking here, and in the style tab here, you'll see if there's a background image on the container, it'll be there. It's not in this case. Let's try the column. In this case, let's check style again. And here we can find this is where our image is a background on the column. So let's go ahead and change that one. Choose it from our library. And let's go with, say, this girl on the couch. Go ahead and select that one. There we go. So that looks fine. Go ahead and repeat that process throughout your page. The other thing we should look at is our buttons on the page. So if we select our button here by clicking the pencil, we can see this button actually takes us to a link here. The link is in an internal URL. At the moment, it's taking us to the services page. We could just change that. If we wanted to change it to, say, the about page, we could search and it will take us to change it to the about page instead. So we can actually edit the links as we like there as well. Once you're happy with that, go ahead and click publish, and our page will be updated. The other really cool thing you can do with these containers is save them as a template, and we can reuse these on other parts of the site as we like. So this is a nice way of creating consistent design results right across the site. So if we actually right click that one there, we can save it as a template, and I might call this 2-column and just save that on there. And we'll actually be able to reuse that as much as we like on our page, on any page. Let's scroll down to the bottom. For example, we'll have an option of adding a new container here. If we click the template one there, we can see they've got lots of pre-built ones in Elementor, and we can add them as we like. But under My Templates, we've got the ones that we have specific to our site. So the 2-column one is the one I just created. We can actually insert that one there, click apply. And there is our template that we just created there. It's been duplicated on the bottom of our site. It's just reloading. Let's go back down. There we go. We can see we've got that copy. And then we can just go ahead and actually customize it as we like again. So I'd obviously want to change that girl to a new image. Let's go ahead and change it to, say, this picture of the laptops on the desk, and change the text. Obviously, maybe change the button to another different link, and just go ahead. You can build out your page using this method as well. Obviously, when you're happy with it, go ahead and click publish. So that's how we edit our page. Let's actually go ahead and try creating a completely new page. So let's add a new page here. I'm going to call this one Tech, for example. Save it in there. So this is going to load up our Elementor editor where we can start adding our blocks. So we can actually add templates here, adding the pre-built blocks from the block library, or the templates that we've actually created or saved previously. For example, that's the one we used before. We could insert that one into our new page here. There we go. One thing I'd like to edit here is actually there's a bit too much margin at the top there. So if we go ahead and look at the advanced tab here, that's where we get to our margin. So we can actually just change that. So it's set to 250 pixels. So we can just drop that back to, say, 50. Looks a bit more reasonable in terms of that white space. So just tweak that as you like as well, and then publish it when you're ready to go. The other thing you could do, rather than saving just a container as a template, you can actually save a whole page as a template as well. So let's go back to our home page. I'll show you how to do that. If we look over in our top right here, we can actually save the whole page as a template as well. So we could say this is a home template and just save that there. And we've got our home template saved in there. So now if we head back to our dashboard, we can click Elementor here, get exit to WordPress. And this one. That takes us back to our pages. If we want to add a new page, let's call this one, say, tutorials, and save it there. And we've got our tutorials page loading up now. Now, a really, really quick way of building a new page would be to just get that template that we used on our home page. So that was our home template. We can insert that, and that will give us the whole home page on this new page. And then we can just edit things. We can go ahead and delete the sections that we don't need in here. It's just reloading, but it's really just a case of just editing and removing and changing things as we like. So let's say if we didn't want this one in, we could delete that one out and just go ahead, just tweak it as you like. And you've got a completely new page without doing a lot of design work at all, just by duplicating content into new pages. Obviously, once you're done, we can click publish. And if we want to add any of our new pages into our menu, we would just go back to our WordPress dashboard, exit to WordPress, and top corner there, we head over to our appearance and menus. That'll give us our menu. We can go ahead and add, say, the tech page to our menu by clicking that one there. And now I've got tech in our menu, save the menu. And then let's head back to that tab here with our page open. And we should be able to see our new menu item in the menu there. So that is all it is. You can control your entire site just using this method. Next thing worth learning about is posts. So we've covered pages. Now let's look at posts. So on this particular kit, we've got this one called Newsflash. And this has our posts organized here in this grid here. And it's on a template called Newsflash. The post category is called Newsflash. That's why it's called Newsflash on this particular page. But we can edit this. I'll show you how to do this particularly. So let's head back to our dashboard here. And we can go to posts. This is where we can view all the articles. This site has come with a few default articles included. If we look at categories here, we can see we've got this one called Newsflash. If we click edit, we can actually change it here. For example, I might prefer to just call it news, but you could call it blog or posts or whatever you like. Click update, and I've updated the name there. And then to access the actual post page, we go to template and theme builder. So for posts, the two most important things here are the post page called single post and the actual grid, which is called archive here. So let's go ahead and click that one, and we can actually edit our post page archive with Elementor here. So this is what it looks like. So first thing I'd like to show you is this category here. So if we look at our archive post grid here, and we can start changing the actual content of this grid. So instead of having 3 columns, for example, we could have 2. It changes it like that. At the moment, we've got cards. We could have classic, but I think I preferred cards or the full content. But I think in most cases, you'd want the cards. It's the best setup there. And you can have the featured image, or you can turn the featured image off. I like the featured image on. One thing I'd like is, because we've only got one category, I think having the category in the corner there is a bit redundant. So we can actually change that badge. It shows the category at the moment. We could just turn that off, just hide it. I think that's better. And then you've got your metadata here. So title, you've got the post excerpt, the author and the date there. So you can actually change those as you like as well. You'll just find that there. Metadata, you can actually add any of those or remove them as you like as well. So I might actually just remove both of those, make it a little bit tidier. So I think that's good. Let's see what else there is here. So I think there's a little bit of text there that we can customize. Might just call that latest news. And what else have we got? Anything at the bottom here? We've got just one container there that we could change if we wanted to. I might actually just delete that container. Cool. But once you're happy with this template, I think we're pretty much good to go. We can click publish. And now we can head back to our page. Let's just open our page up and visit the site. Now we can see we've got it called news now instead of Newsflash. And we can load that up. We can see we've got our customized heading here, and we've changed our grid to 2 columns, no category. So that is basically how we do that. If we look at the post template itself, we can see we've got the title, featured image, metadata, you've got excerpt, and the actual post is down there. And then we've got a subscription form and another container there. We can actually customize all this stuff through the theme editor as well. And this is a really quick way of adding content to the site, because all you need to do is just fill out the actual post and the rest of the formatting will be done in accordance with this template. But actually building the template through the theme builder is a very powerful way of editing this. So let's head back to our theme builder and let's edit the single post now. Click edit there and wait for this to load. So let's say I quite like having the title and the featured image there, but I don't really want this metadata box here, or I want to customize it, maybe make it different, but let's go ahead and just remove those couple of things here. Or we could just remove the whole box, delete it like that, and click publish. And personally, I like to keep these blog posts a bit cleaner and tidier. We've got an excerpt here and a sharing thing here. So I might actually remove those and just have the actual post content. I think I'd prefer that. So let's go ahead and just delete that excerpt. And let's delete this sharing thing and this thing here as well. I think that's better. The whole thing, the whole column there doesn't really need to be there. And that's good. Got a line. Yeah, I might just remove that as well. Just keep it a bit tidier. We've got the title and we've got the content. I think that's fine. Let's just go with that. Scrolling down. Subscription form, I like that. I'm not going to keep that there. We've got this navigation. That's fine. You could edit this bottom section here if you really wanted to have a section at the bottom of all your posts that looks like this, or you could remove it completely. I might just remove it and just keep it simple. That looks better. And once you're happy with that, we publish. So all the posts that you make are going to follow this format. So we can choose our title and our featured image just through the WordPress post editor. I'll show you how to do that in just a second, and I'll show you the results that we get by using this. So let's head back to WordPress, exit to WordPress, and let's go to posts here. Let's go ahead and add a new post. Let's just put some filler text in here and put a title on there. There we go. And what we'll want is a featured image. So definitely add a featured image to all your posts here. Let's grab one from our media library. Let's go with that one. Set that as your featured image. Looks all good. Let's publish. And this is all you need to do to create a new post. Just fill in the title, the content, and the featured image. And once we view the post, we can see it all follows that template that we just built in the theme builder. So title, featured image that we chose there, there's our content. And then all the things in the template, such as that subscription form and the navigation, our header and our footer are all consistent right across the site. So this is a really quick way of adding content to your website. So we've done our header, we've done our pages and posts. One thing we haven't done is our footer. We can access that through the edit with Elementor here. This will bring up the ability to edit your footer. This is our footer down here. So if there's anything down here that we don't need, we can quite easily remove it, right click on it and delete that, for example. The other thing we'd want to do is customize the social icons with that icon there. For example, our Facebook, we'd want to change our link there. So I'd put my particular Facebook link in there like that, and then go ahead and publish that one. And just repeat that for Instagram. I don't actually use Twitter, so we could actually change that to something else. For example, I'm a YouTuber, so I'd go with the YouTube there, insert that one, and just put my YouTube link in there and go ahead and publish. So that is how you'd customize your footer. And you're also free to add any elements you want. With the add element button, we could add things into our footer as we like as well. So lots of flexibility in terms of customizing your Elementor sections here. Next thing I should talk about is forms. There's actually a form in our footer. I'll show you how to make a form anywhere on the page. So let's head back to our pages. Let's exit to WordPress again. And pages, let's just put one on the home page. For example, if we edit with Elementor, let's say we wanted to put a form here, maybe in this section here, in between these two, we can add a new container in here and we can click that one there. And there's actually some pre-built ones in Elementor's library already. So if we go to contact, we can see there's a few here. Let's get a nice simple one like that. Insert it into our page. There we go. There's a contact form. So the default one has name, email, phone, service type, message. We can actually simplify that a bit here. Let's say we want to remove the service type and the phone number, just keep it fairly simple. I think that's good with just name, email, message. And these are just basic headings and text elements that we can change as we like as well. So we can change the text. We can change the style here, the typography, for example. Let's make it a secondary menu, make it a bit smaller. The other thing I'd like to do is add a bit of padding around it. So the container, we can go to the advanced tab there. We can add padding to the top. You can choose pixels and you can also choose rem. I think rem is a bit more consistent way of doing it. So we can add some to the top, to the bottom, and just tweak it as you like. I think that looks fine. And then we hit publish. So that is adding a simple contact form to your page. So if someone's actually visiting your site and they fill out the contact form, I'll show you how it behaves. So I've just filled that out with Alex at test.com. Hi, Alex. Click send. And that submission was successful. Basically, you'll get this detail sent to your email. You'll also get the info in your WordPress dashboard as well. So under Elementor submissions, if we reload this page here, we can see that we've got a contact form submission here as well. And you can view the message through this link there. But that basically covers most of the things you'll need to build a page using WordPress and Elementor. Let's head back to our Elementor overview. What I'd like to do now is turn site lock off and publish this page live. So we can go ahead, change this one. Down here, we can turn site lock off, unlock the site, and now the site will be visible to anyone. All right, now we can see site lock is off. The page is now live. The other things worth checking just before we finish this off, under our WordPress dashboard, let's head to settings and reading, and just check search engine visibility. Make sure this is unticked. Discourage search engines from indexing the site. If we tick this, then Google won't add the pages to Google. But if we leave it unticked, Google will come through and search the page and add anything to the search engine index. So make sure that one's unticked when you're ready to go live. The other thing I think worth doing here is in writing, because all of our posts are in that news category, I think we'll change our default post category to news. So anytime we create a new post, it'll go under that news category, and just save our changes there. And that looks all good. Okay, so that covers our WordPress web page. Now let's head back to our Elementor dashboard. What I'd like to do now, rather than using our Elementor Cloud temporary name, I'd like to add a custom domain here. So let's head over to Manage Domains. And there are a couple of ways of doing this. We can buy a new domain. This is the easiest way, because if you buy one through Elementor, with this link, it'll automatically configure everything to work with your Elementor website. Or you can connect a domain that you already own to your site. If you want to learn how to do this, I've covered it in a previous tutorial, which I'll link in the description, and I'll link the video up in the corner there if you want to use this method. But let's go ahead and buy a domain. So Elementor is partnered with the Hover registrar that allows us to get new domains for our website. So let's get one here. This is a good choice if you don't already own a domain, because when you do it with this method, it's going to be automatically configured to work with your website. So we can find a domain for your idea. I'm going to try ideasphase.com for this example. Click here. So here it's going to show if it's available, which luckily it is. There's also other extensions down here that it suggests that you may want to consider too, but let's just go with ideasphase.com for this example. Add it to cart. Then let's head to our cart here. We can see that we've got privacy included for free, which is good. And we've got 10% off by using Elementor for new purchases. So that's pretty nice as well. So let's go through the checkout. So this is just a case of filling out the checkout form. After filling in the first step, you'll get a confirmation code to your email. So just put in your code from the email that you received and confirm that one. And then we just need to agree to the terms here. We don't need to receive email or newsletters. Then we click continue. Fill in your details here and press continue. Now we can check out either with a credit card or with PayPal. I'm going to use PayPal for this demo here. Then we agree to the terms and submit the order. All right, that looks all good. Now we are the proud owner of ideasphase.com. We can connect it to Elementor through here. Great, now our domain is connected to Elementor. There's just one more step and you're done. So go back to Elementor to finish. So here it says your website has a new custom domain. Congrats. You can find your site at ideasphase.com, and it can take up to 48 hours to update all servers for this to work. Usually doesn't take that long. Probably 1 hour or so is enough in most cases. So let's click got it here. And so after a while, this page will refresh automatically. We can see our custom domain has been added here, ideasphase.com. It's automatically set this one as primary. So this looks like it's all good to go. All right, let's look at email now. So let's go to email account. You'll notice here it says now you've connected your domain. It's time to authenticate your email. So just follow that link there. And we select our domain, ideasphase.com. In my case here, let's begin. And we'll need to be signed into our domain provider. So in my case, we've got this domain from hover.com, and I am under my domain here under DNS. So this is where we want to be there. And we go, I've signed in. What's next? Find your domain settings page. We've already got to that stage on Hover. So let's go to what's next. Find your DNS records. As I previously showed, that is where you'll find it in the case of Hover. And then we just have to update these records here. So copy and paste them into Hover. So let's start with this one, EM6565. This is a CNAME record. So we're going to add a record. This is going to be a CNAME record. Host name is that one. And the value is this one. We can just click that copy button there, put the value in there, add that on, and keep doing this process. So another CNAME record, CNAME, there we go. Plug that in. The value in this case is that one. Paste that in there, add that record in. I noticed I got an error here. This was because there's a little space that slipped into the host name there. If you delete that space from the front of the S1 there, that should fix that issue there. That's all good. Now let's do the last one there. So that is S2. Add that CNAME record. S2, again, remove that space. I don't know why that space slips in for some reason. Copy that one there. That's our target name. And add that in. That looks all good. Now we should be ready to authenticate this. So I've updated my records, authenticate my email. That looks all good. It worked. Your domain is now authenticated through SendGrid. So now our WordPress emails will be from our custom domain rather than from the Elementor Cloud temporary domain. So that looks all good. Next step we should do is get a business email. So let's click Get a Business Email here. And we can set up an account either with Zoho, Google, or Microsoft 365. So these ones, Google and Microsoft, do cost an extra $6 US per month, but Zoho is free. So let's use the Zoho email for this example. All we have to do here is scroll down to the free forever plan. So just make sure you find that one there, sign up now. And just fill this in with a name and email address, make a strong password and agree to the terms. Now this is just your registration email. So I'm using a Gmail here to sign up with and then go through the sign up process. And once you've registered and verified your account, we can add our domain name. So in my case, ideasphase.com. I'm going to be called Ideaspot here. And we can choose an industry type here. Doesn't really matter. I might go with just media and entertainment. Add that one now. And now we just have to go through the domain verification steps here. So this is a text record that we need to add to our DNS. So there is @ for root, and this is going to be the value. So we go back to our Hover DNS manager here. We're going to add a text record. It is @ for root here, and the content goes in there. We add that on. Looks all good. Head back here. Then we just need to verify. All right, that looks all good. So we can create a login address. So let's go alex@ideasphase.com, create that one there. At this stage, we can add multiple users if we want, but I'm just going to use the one user for this demo. Let's go proceed to set up groups. You can create a group, which is optional. I don't really need to do that to get an email box working. So let's go to DNS mapping here, and we're going to add our MX records to the DNS. So this is just a case of copying these records in and adding them into our DNS. So I'm going to copy that first one, MX Zoho.au. That is an MX record with a priority 10. So we're going to add that in here. And MX record. Host name is that one. Oops, host name is @ sorry. Priority is 10. And the mail server is that one there. Let's add that on. You may notice that there's already a hover one by default on here. We're going to delete that one. We're just going to use the MX records for Zoho. And we're going to add these other ones on too. So 2 and 3 need to add on as well. They're going to be priorities 20 and 50. So let's copy the second one. Add a MX record here. That is @20 is the priority here, and it's MX2. And the same again for the third one. MX, host name is priority is 50 now. Mail server is MX3. So those are all added on there, 10, 20, and 50. And the other one is an SPF record. That is a text record this time. That's the value. It's going to be @ as well. So we're going to add a text record. Content is that one there. Add that one on. And I think the last one is the DKIM one. So that is the value here. That is a text record. Add the record. It's going to be text again. The content is that one. And the value for the host name is that one there. So that looks all good. Awesome. So those are all in. This should be all good. And let's try and verify these records. Can take a while. So I think we should come back in 15 minutes. Most of these have a 15-minute time to live on them. So let's come back a little bit later and see if the verification works. So I'm back after 15 minutes. Let's try the verification again. This should be good. Yeah, we are okay. So let's head over to our next step there, email migration. So if you'd like to pull all your email from another server over here, we can do that step through there. Otherwise, we can just start fresh with going to the next step. You can go to get the mobile app if you like, Zoho mobile apps are available for Android and Apple. You can grab them there. But let's head over to setup completion. So our setup is basically complete here. We can go to our inbox or our admin console. Let's check out the inbox. We'll get this welcoming onboard message here. We can actually just skip that there. So this looks all good. We can actually send mails from our own domain now. So if we click new mail, we can see we are sending from ideaspace.com as our from address here. Let's just test this out. Let's send one over to our Gmail, ideaspotclass@gmail.com. And let's just do a test. Send that over. And then we can check our Gmail. This is our test message that we just got here. That looks all good. Let's check the headers under show original. Just check that our SPF and DKM are passing. That should be all fine because we did verify that, but it's worth just double checking there. But we're all good to go. If we actually reply here, hopefully we can receive the message as well. So let's just send a reply and head back here. And after a minute, we'll get our reply there. So I think that looks okay. So I think we're all good to go. So I've used Zoho in the past. I think it's quite good, quite reliable. But if you want something a little bit more mainstream, you can upgrade and get Microsoft or Google email for $6 a month alternatively. So now we've pretty much covered everything. If we head back to Elementor and look at our things, we've pretty much finished our setup. We've done 100%. There's a few things under advanced we can cover as well. If you want to access your WordPress database, you can find the database through there. And this actually lets you get full access to your WordPress database. So this allows us to use phpMyAdmin. You can see your whole WordPress database in here. You can tweak anything you want through the database. It does have that red heading up here. You can't undo any changes from the database changes that you make. So make sure you take it back up before you start messing around in here if you haven't got much experience working in the database. It's worth knowing that that's here. Not many of you will actually need to access this too often. So I wouldn't worry about that too much if you're a beginner. But for those of us who have a bit more of a developer background, you may want to use the database through there. You can also do secure FTP. You can create a secure FTP account and log in and access the file system directly there as well. There is a staging environment on upgraded plans, but I'm on a basic plan. If you want to have a staging environment where you can work on the site before pushing it to live, you can add that as an upgrade as well. So that's an option through the Elementor advanced features. In terms of optimizations, this is actually really quite well optimized out of the box. If we go over to our WordPress dashboard, we can actually go to under hosting, we can see advanced caching is already enabled, which is pretty nice. So we've already got a caching setup already configured to optimize for Elementor content, which is really quite good. So now we're basically done. We could view our site. Let's open that in an incognito window to see what the public would actually see. And here we go. Our page is loading up pretty nicely here. All of the pages look pretty good. I think we are fairly happy with our results. So I think we can head to our conclusions. All right, so in conclusion, Elementor hosting is an excellent solution in terms of getting an all-in-one package for building a WordPress website with Elementor. A lot of great features that usually cost extra are all included in your plan. You've got Google Cloud high-performance servers running your website. You've got really great security, including DDoS protection, web application firewall, 24-hour monitoring by Elementor. You've got your backups, as we covered in our video, and the optimization is already done out of the box, which is really nice when you're dealing with WordPress optimization. It's good to have that already set up specifically for Elementor. And obviously you get all the Elementor Pro widgets and features included in your plan, along with hosting for Elementor for one price. So again, check out that link in the description if you're interested. If you want to know a bit more about these features, check out my previous video. I'll put that up on the end screen where I go into some more depth about what these are. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.